passion, fueled by facts. From breaking transfer news to instant match reactions, we've got it all live and unfiltered. Smash the likes, get in the chat, let's talk Reds. I'm joined today by a brilliant panel today. It's been a while since we've spoken there, gents, but let me just introduce you to everyone, and I'm sure that everyone that is watching is able to recognize some really good faces and the love that we have for Kev. Certainly, I know there's been there's a fan page, I'm sure, floating around with you. How are you today?
I'm all good, mate. Nice to be on. Nice to see a few good people on here, Patricio, Charlie, yourself, and obviously Carter as well. So no, glad to be back.
Good,
All good, mate.
good.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Really good. It's a bit warm today, but yeah, it's all right. Carter, how are you, mate? It's been a long time as well.
I'm good. I've been enjoying the off season. I haven't been enjoying the Club World Cup because it's
What
just
is
not
that?
very enjoyable. It's
Don't even.
just I feel sorry for the players, but no, it's been nice to actually just won the league, let us settle in, and start a great summer so far, as it seems with all the business. Seems like
Absolutely.
ages since we've had a summer like this. It's kind of like I'd say since the Fabinho, Keita, Alisson, Shaqiri one. I'd say this was the last time where everything seemed to get done quite early.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to talk about it a lot as well. And then last on my panel is Patricio. How are you, Patricio? It's been a very long time.
Yeah, good, mate. It's been a long time, like you said. But like Carl was mentioning, it's good to get transfers in. It's good to actually have something to look at on the off season and get excited with the things coming in early, the transfers coming in early. So, yeah, I looked more to look forward to as well.
Yeah. I'm sure this is the first part of a second part that's going to be absolutely brilliant. But first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. Now, since I think over the last couple of days, just want to say thank you to all the subscribers. Now, LFC Transfer Room on X reached 400,000 followers, which is absolutely massive. It's been a long time coming, getting to that number. So just want to say thank you. And then similarly, overnight as well, on YouTube, we reached 11,000 subscribers. So again, just massive numbers. Kind of really show the commitment that we're trying to do, what we're trying to give back to everyone that is watching. We are just a fan channel, so it just it just proves that people love having a conversation about Liverpool and hope it continues. So just want to say thank you for everyone that's kind of hit those like, subscribes, supports channels in any way possible. So it's brilliant. So what we all know, Kerkez has signed today, gentlemen, and it's probably the worst kept secret in football. He has announced it himself over a number of occasions. His old man has been notorious as well, probably outdone Papa Diaz as well, in terms of being that cringeworthy dad that doesn't want to go away. But yeah, he's finally here. We are going to have a little bit of a chat about Kerkez, get some strengths, get some weaknesses, get some viewpoints about what's actually happened and what it means for Liverpool going forward, and particularly the left back positions, the people that already occupy those positions. So I'll just start off with Patricio. Let's kind of get your thoughts straight away. 40 million on a 21-year-old who's been in the team of the year in the Premier League. The season just gone. 21 years old. Fantastic deal that kind of secures the position for the next decade.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think obviously we know he's a cracking player. He's proven what he can do at Bournemouth, and then the fact that he's to begin with, I wasn't too certain if he was actually going to join us. This is like a few months back. Was obviously we were linked with him, but he wasn't actually showing anything. Didn't actually look like he wanted to join us. But obviously, I like the fact that obviously the dad was very supportive. Then he was supportive, and it just seems to be like everyone who signed for us sees us as like a top 3 contending club, the biggest in England. So it just means that obviously, like you said, we are setting ourselves up. We had Robbo. Obviously, the news has come out, but obviously, hopefully Robbo stays and we continue to use him as a backup. And then Kerkez is just bombing forward. And I hope that proves to be like a slot team. We can change it up next season and go for a number 21. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, it is seeming like that. And we just lost Kev. I think he had a bit of a stretch and obviously just self-combusted because of the excellent news that we've had today. So hopefully, Kev, you're okay. You'll come back to us. Carter, what about yourself? What would it's been days and weeks. It looks like it's been months in the making. Now it's finally here. It answers a lot of questions in terms of what we do. We've shored up essentially the right back. We've shored up the left back now, and we have a really good goalkeeper that's coming in. And then we have the most exciting attacking midfielder in the world playing for Liverpool for years. Is this just the way, the start of many things, good things to come Liverpool's way?
I think definitely. I think obviously the number 9, which we're not going to get into, is probably the cherry on top of the cake for everyone. But I think we could all see last year, and he's an absolute legend. But there were times where the left-hand side was such a big issue. Like it was, and I don't mean to sound bad, it was like the Leicester of two evils. It was like really bad Robertson or Costas, who was like in and out of the team constantly. And it felt like it was the reverse of what used to be with Trent, where it was like every goal would come down the right-hand side. And then it was like the complete opposite. So I think it's good. It's really good that we've got in this sort of top young fullback. And I think there's other fullbacks that maybe do different things. But I think considering like the left backs we've had, like obviously Robertson, I was a bit too young to properly watch John Onorisa, which show my age. But I think we're used to that sort of powerful, sort of really energetic left back. And I think sometimes there's a thing of teams like building a DNA, and those sorts of players really fit Liverpool. And I think we're one of those teams where we can have a false 9, or we like crazy bombing on fullbacks. So I really think it's a proper match made in heaven.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And so we'll come to his strengths, because that's what people are really, really interested in. What he can bring to this team, Kev. There's lots of positives, but is there anything that really, really stands out for you from him?
His pace, the fact that we'll be going back to what we had under Robbo, and Trent, in a way where you got someone who will make the width of the pitch a lot bigger. We'll have someone who can get down the flank. You'll also then see the front three become a little bit more narrower. And then that gets them in more dangerous positions, especially Salah. That's where you'll see Salah excel. And the crossing ability as well is just phenomenal. To have that kind of pace and the crossing ability of a Kerkez in his breakout season in the Premier League, in which he was the standout left back apart from the Fulham or Wolves left back. Take nothing away. We've got an absolute quality player on our hands, and you've got a player that, as the lads have said, has been a big weakness and a big major factor for me, that it was a priority that we bring someone in. So to bring someone in of the likes of a Kerkez before July is amazing. Do you know what I mean? So you look at what his strength, you look at his capability. You've got he can be progressive. He can be with the ball. Without it, he'll be a bit like a Vert in the back four. He'll be able to press and press players a little bit further up the pitch. You'll see us suffocating teams, and if you're going on the front foot, like you need to do against the likes of a City and Arsenal, then to have a Kerkez in your team that can do that and utilise that and have the speed and pace to get back as well, that will play into our hands, and it gives it gives us more creativity. You've got more outlet. You've got someone who's been able to cross the ball. And if you look at the stats from last season alone, he stands head and above what Robbo has done last season. Take nothing away from him, because he is going to be replacing an experienced player, but to have Robbo alongside him as well, that'll just bring him on even more in leaps and bounds. And the way he spoke about him today, so it only plays well. I think we'll be very strong, and you'll be able to use them and utilize them in certain games that you don't necessarily need to look at him to being defensively. So it's a great signing, and to have someone who can overlap and get down that wing and cross balls into the quality he does. I just hope his corners are better than anyone. I hope his set pieces are as good as what he is as playing left back last season. So fingers crossed. No, all good for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Yeah, totally agree. I think Patricio, those overlapping runs, and I saw a stat today that he was the best for making overlap runs, the sheer velocity of and volume of those runs that he made in terms of the kilometers that he covers on the left hand side. But the main thing Kev kind of pointed to, and something I really wanted to ask you, was those goal contributions that he's starting to make. When he came in, his crossing was probably not the best, but he's worked on it. So over the last year and a half, he's certainly worked on and identified those weaknesses, and he's worked on something and produced some real good magic. A couple of goal involvements against Man City last season. We remember the goal against Newcastle, which was an excellent goal. But for you, what do you see in what he can bring going forward? And remember, he's only 21, so he's got years ahead of him, and he could be breaking records. So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think he'll be a class player for us. I think what he brings, like you said, like Kev said, he has that pace, he has the overlapping runs, and he's bringing in the goal contributions as well. And the fact that he said in his interview that he's wanting more goals, so he's not just stopping at assists, he wants to get the goals as well. I mean, that's always been a good thing with Liverpool fullbacks, but we had with Trent and then we had with Robbo, is that we had the passing and the pace. Not so much defensively, obviously we had better with Robbo, but see, we're identify ourselves potentially to have like a 3 at the back and 2 wing backs essentially, who can have more attack, just have a more attacking football, just a better football to watch. So I think Slot's trying to identify his team, and that's why we've brought in Frimpong, we've brought in Kerkez, just to have those pacey fullbacks, those young fullbacks that are proven. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see.
Yeah, so I think there's lots of positives, but Carter, do you see any potential weaknesses other than him being like a little puppy, just really full of energy, and does that kind of bring naivety or something else that may get caught out having played in the Champions League for Liverpool? I don't know if you're there, Carter, but
Yeah.
You are there. But yeah, what do you think potentially could be the weakness that he needs to be working on and we need to be wary of as Liverpool fans going into the season?
I think it's his defensive play. I think in some ways he's really good defensively. Like, I think when we're sort of pressing and we lose the ball and we're getting regains, I think he's really, really good for that. I think he's perfect for that. And I think he does offer sort of recovery pace when we're coming back and teams are trying to attack space. I think he's perfect for that. But I think when we're maybe sat a bit deeper, I think positionally, maybe following his man, I think he still has a lot like to learn and a long way to go. And almost at this point, you could argue Robertson maybe isn't the best person to teach him that. But I think it will be a good way to have 2 players who will be there, and Robertson should possibly help him with his temperament, and he should help him sort of maybe just take a bit more of the. It's a good thing that he has it, but the sort of fearless side of the game, like, you need to balance it. Of sometimes you have to stop, sometimes you have to go, no, he's gone. You need to sit back and give us a bit more cover. And I think training with Robertson actually ultimately will probably help. But I think Kerkez probably still needs to go up a level or 2 defensively. Like, if you look at probably who we're trying to copy, PSG, it took a while for Nuno Mendes to get up to that level. And although I think he's a bit more talented, you see how important it is to have these really dynamic and physical sort of guys at the fullback, because they just make it so hard for anyone to sort of come out against them. So I think he'll make it. But as you said, he's 21 years old. Like, he's I'm going to be 3 years older than him in September. Like, he's really young and he's not played that many games. He's had 2 years. So I think we do need to give him time. But ultimately, I think he'll come in and he'll still be a very solid player. Like, I think his floor is really good.
And so, Kev, with that, then, because he's playing, and no disrespect to Bournemouth, but they're mid-table. They've overperformed for the size of club that they are, but he's moving over to the biggest team in England. He's already said it. One of the top 3, according to Florian Wirtz, in the world. So he's moving up expectations. Now, with that, you come against teams that are probably going to sit a little bit deeper with just the way that things are. and how we will probably see Liverpool progress, because previously we've seen teams attack us, but now that we're attracting and getting players in of such ilk, they will probably start sitting back and respect us a little bit more, akin to Man City. Now, because that will then leave a low block, is Kerkez's game of being all action and in your face, is that going to be really suitable for teams that we will likely play 70% of the time?
Yeah. We won't go down the route of how old I am over Kerkez, but it's a lot. So with that, I think our weakness last season was the counter attack over the top ball. When we're in that possession of that 70% that you talk about, the likes of Man United, the likes of all the other young teams, to have two outlets on a left back and right back who have the pace and the capability to do what Kyle Walker's done and made a job of getting back and utilising your space in that way. That will play in his hands. I think what he's got to remember is he's got to get more consistent. So with being at Bournemouth, the consistency level isn't as high as what it needs to be at Liverpool. So you may see him coming in and out of games. I think he may start the season, but we may see him come out and we see Robbo playing in certain games just to try and bring him in, strategize himself. So his strategy last season was to just play for Bournemouth and just utilise your space on the left-hand side. With Liverpool, it's a little bit more different. It will be a bit more like of an NFL team where there will be strategic games in which he'll have strategic positions that he'll need to be taken up and utilised, so that we don't get either forced on the counter-attack or we can understand when that counter is going to happen. It's very easy and simplistic for us to say, oh yeah, well, he just needs to do this, but there'll be more to it. There'll be more of a strategy. There'll be more positional sense to play alongside Virgil as well. That will help. So as well as getting the experience of playing left back for Liverpool from Robbo, he'll also get the experience and the positional sense of where he needs to be under Virgil's guidance, and to have that kind of leadership in the back is paramount for a young player that comes in. He is a young pup, as you say. It's probably the best way to call him out. But he will get that consistency, and eventually you will start seeing a progressive, attacking-minded, physical player. When you want a one-on-one against Saka, you've got the perfect player in Kerkez who can deal with them. He's shown he can deal with them, with those one-on-one matchups. That's another one of our weaknesses last season that we've ticked the box for. You look against PSG, the goal comes down from the left-hand side. Although we played well, we always feared that counter-attack and play. And to have Kerkez eventually, he will have to get his mind over the consistency of playing at a big club. That comes with pressure, and I think with having the right people around, the fact he's been speaking to Slobos on a daily basis will kind of get him into and introduce him to what he will have to be. That helps. He's got a mate. And I think I think what's significant from the 4 signings we've made, they've all got mates within the club that have come, whether it's Frimpong with Vert, or whether it's Kerkez with Slobos. They've got people that are already at the club. Also, Virgil van Dijk knows Frimpong as well. So you've got that kind of community already, and that will ease them in as well. And you'll see them be a little bit more relaxed and less sensitive than what you would necessarily think when you've got someone of that ilk. But he will be learning, and he'll be learning on the job, and it comes with dangers. But I think he's fearless. I think he'll come over it, and I think we've got an absolute asset, on a gem on our ends. Do you know what I mean? So it's mainly the counter attack, and I think he'll need to work on his defensive mindset of where he needs to be. So yeah, sorry, I went on a bit there.
No, not at all. We always love whatever you have to say there, Kev. So don't worry about that. So you mentioned something about mindset, and Patricio, just the kind of last thing that we probably want to cover off in this little segment. The mindset, mentality. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, he's already played at a big club. He signed over to AC Milan, before we moved over to Bayern Munich. Bournemouth. There was an in between move to AZ Alkmaar, I'm sure there was, but he's already kind of had the flavour of a very, very big club and didn't find a way, albeit very, very young. But he's coming over to Liverpool. The expectation again grows. Do you think he has the mentality? It seems like he does. He's water off a duck's back with him and the way he kind of goes about himself. But is there anything that makes you worry, or the opposite? It really kind of G's you up and makes you happy that he's really, really resilient, it seems.
Yeah, I see no worry with him, to be fair. With any of our signings, I see that they're all sort of calm, cool, collected. Yeah, they've got some maturing to do because they're all quite young, but the fact that with Frimpong and Wirtz, we're bringing in winning people that have won trophies, they have that winning mentality and they're going to continue to do so. And Kerkez has the hunger to get to the highest level. Yeah, he's gone from AZ Alkmaar to Bournemouth, and he's just slow progression. Like he's made his way into the Premier League, proven himself a bit in the season that he's been with Bournemouth, and now he's proven that he can make the next step and he wants to, and that's sort of, I see that as the drive, not as I don't see it as a bad side at all. I see all of our players that we're bringing in, especially like Mamardashvili as well. He sees himself as a future keeper for us. He sees so I think the players we're getting in are a class, and although we're getting them young, we're making smart signings with what we're doing as well. Like, don't get me wrong, we probably could have gone for Cherky and Aid Nouri, but I think we made the right choices of who we went with. The top left back for us that made sense, and then obviously Wirtz as well, who's world class. So yeah, I have no other words to say for this. I think
no, exactly. I think the main thing is, and I'm certainly feeling it now, is I'm just missing Liverpool Football Club playing on the pitch. And I'm really eager to kind of see the first game. It's not too far away because the guys are only coming back to training. I'm sure, Kev, you'll know when the guys are back for pre-season, but certainly in July. And I'm sure it's only kind of the first weekend, after the first weekend of July, that the guys will be sorry?
13th of July against Preston.
There you go. So it's only 2.5 weeks, something like that. So we are not far from seeing some action, some Liverpool games coming our way. Now, so yeah, I think we've covered off Kerkez as well there, guys. But the main thing also is Robertson. If we discount Tsimikas, Kev's favourite Tsimikas, we will dismiss him and say we'll kind of park what's going to happen with him. What actually happens with Robertson in this respect? Now, for you, Carter, do you keep Robertson as the mentor, Mr. Miyagi, to Daniel? In this sense, and he can teach and kind of offload or upload all the experience that he has onto young pup Milos. Do you think that's the right way to do it?
I think it's quite difficult. I think a lot of it comes down to the centre back we sign. Like, I've seen some stuff say Murillo, some stuff say Gehi, and it's like, if the centre back we sign is as undersized left centre back, it might make sense to move both on. I know it's a big change, but I think it's hard. I actually do feel quite sorry for Robertson, because I almost look at that Atletico Madrid move and go, look at what happened to Kieran Trippier. He was probably the second, or honestly, he was arguably the most important player with Suarez in the league in the season they won the league. And I think for Robertson, it will almost be a bit bittersweet. Like, I feel like he'll do a year, but I feel like after that, he might look and say, it was fine. But I think it's going to be a really difficult balance for him, because we all know why we love him so much, that he's such a battler, he's such a warrior. Will it almost become, not that he'd throw his toys out the pram, but would he maybe be like, I should come on, he's not playing that well, I should come on. I think this is such a difficult decision for the club, because when you have someone that wants to win, that wants to play all the time, like, it's almost like Ronaldo with Portugal. Like, can he actually step back and let the next people in? So I think it's really hard. I think in an ideal world, probably keep Robertson. In a financial world, you keep Tsimikas, but it's up to the club. I think it's a very hard decision either way.
Kev, what would you do in this respect?
I would say to Robbo that there will be games where he'll get play. I don't think. I think we can pick and choose now who plays at left back. I think the fact that we've covered everything with every base with the signings we have, I think you choose when to play, and I think next season he'll get more game time than I think a lot of people are expecting. I think if you want to be on the front and opposing teams, then you'll start Kerkez. There'll be games where you'll be able to start and allowed to play Robbo. I think there'll be. I think there will be minimal games that he'll be playing, but I think the club will say to him, and it kind of goes with what Carter's saying. I'd probably keep him this season, and then once Kerkez has been settled in, that's when you start looking at trying to either say, well, you stay here, but your game time is even more limited. But I think there will be games where he'll be needed. We can't get rid of both of them. We have to keep one because if there's injuries, then we can't just go down to just, oh well, we lose Kerkez and we then have to bring Owen back from a loan to come in and cover. So I think there will be an opportunity for him to play. I think we can select the games more evenly and distribute the games a lot evenly. Don't remember, you got to remember he's only 21 as well. So there will be a bit of a time for him to, and there will be a lot of time for him to gain his consistency. There'll be up and down games. Do you know what I mean? There'll be games where he won't be playing well and he'll be taken off after 50, 60 minutes. That's a natural progression because he's stepping up to one of the elite teams in the league, if not the world. So there will be more opportunities for him until he beds in. But I don't see a problem and an issue to keep hold of Robertson, even to a degree. Timicus as well. He knows his position, so you leave him to do the FA Cups and the Carabao Cups, and leave Robbo and Kerkez to be your number one and number two for the league and the Champions League. So I think there's opportunities for the players. It depends what the mindset is. Some don't like that. Some will prefer to be a number one and be playing as much as he wants. And that,
Mm.
and that's where I think Robertson probably was looking at Atletico Madrid. I thought he'd end up going back to Scotland in some sense, but the fact that Tierney's gone to Celtic, I think that may come ahead again next season. But that's how I'd be dealing with it. I think there'll be enough games next season. There's 60 games. There's enough to give at least all of them at least 20 before you've even started. That'll change during the course of the season. But progressively, I would be keeping Robertson. I think it's a benefit if he does stay.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. There's loads of games for Robert to kind of sink his teeth into for the remainder of the season. Patricio, just lastly, last little comment before we close up. What are your thoughts? If Atletico do kind of look to take Robbo from us, would you begrudge him, or would you kind of try to convince him? You got 1 year left here. Again, kind of just give all that experience to us. You never know, we could win a 21st league title and maybe more. Who knows?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we'd keep Robert, to be honest. I was hoping that he'd provide that sort of maturity, like the wise person at left back for Kerkez. Obviously, he looks up to him, and that shows just the quality that Robertson has shown us since coming from Hull. So I think I was a bit gutted when I saw the rumours and that he was linked, and it was progressing really fast, that he was going to go to Madrid. And I'm pretty sure as of today, Madrid have signed a new left back. So I'm hoping that's that Robertson's off the cards for them,
Right.
and that he stays with us. I've been wanting to offload Tsimikas for a while, but listening to Kev, I do kind of understand cup games and stuff, but I'm not sure if Tsimikas is going to be okay with being that. Like, he's already a rotation player at best. Would he be happy just to be there for cup games? And I don't know. He might force her to leave the club as well. So I don't know. Especially because I would even want to have Gomez as a backup left back to Kerkez and to Robertson. So yeah, I think we keep Robertson just for that maturity, just because he can be there defensively for us.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots to discussed, there's still plenty of time. We haven't even reached July in terms of the summer, so there's still another at least 6 weeks of transfer news to go through. I just want to wrap it up. I really want to thank you all for joining. So thanks for joining us on the LFC Transfer Room live. I've been Charlie Sadiva. Thank you to Kev, Carter, Patricio. We'll be back before you can say LA. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Up the Reds.